Probably been training hard, shadowboxing, bag work, searching through combos online, but if you're honest, it still feels like you're not getting better. Today, we're going to show you how one of our newer guys, Blaine, went from flat-footed and frustrated to generating some skill and power in just 4 sessions. And more importantly, we're going to show you how you can do the exact same thing using the drill system that we teach inside of Fighters College. Guys, I'm Alan Branch from Glove Up and Fighters College. Today, I'm here with my man, David Dice, and we're going to be teaming up on Blaine, looking at the basics and building a drill from the ground up.
Yep, we're going to have some fun, man. So, I hope everybody watching understands that there is a distinct method to getting an athlete as good as they can get, as fast as they can get. But there's only one way that I know to be able to do that, and that is to break it into bite-sized pieces, master it, and then move on. And then the information you're getting has to be accurate, tested, in real world. And that's what we bring to the ball game. And I think people will see that since he's only had 4 sessions, right? Or this is his 4th.
4th day we've worked together.
Yeah.
So guys, hopefully at this point, you've already seen the other videos in this playlist. You've looked at the stance. We're going to review it real quick, but you've looked at the stance, the guard, how to generate power. You've looked at the footwork. So hopefully you've got that down, and we're going to put it all together in that drill right now.
All right, guys, let's check out this fighting stance.
All right, so we got a piece of tape on the floor, which is one of your best training tools. We're set up in the bladed stance. We've got his left toe just to the outside of the line. We've got his right heel just to the outside of the line. Feet are just about shoulder width, maybe a little more. Knees are bent. Right now, the weight is even.
Yep, that's absolute. Looks absolutely perfect. And we've defended why we can. And please watch some of our other videos of exactly why we stand like this. There's a specific reason that we do everything. Nothing is left to chance, and we can defend that. We can tell you why we do this. Hey, Alan, could you show them one thing? Blaine, if you could put your feet just side by side over top of that line and only as wide as your hips, right? Now, if you rock left to right, okay, you have plenty of balance, right? You're on train tracks. Too many people fight. They're like on a tightrope. They have one foot behind the other. And now what we do is you just drop that right foot back and get back in that position that Alan taught you and showed you, because that's how I use that line, right? Because you've got to be able to shift, to move your head, shift, to have weight shift. And these people that don't stand like that, they never get that. You really can't do it at full speed unless you're on train tracks.
Well, the next phase of this, if we're good on the basic stance, is our guard. So what we're going to do from here, we're going to drop both hands down by your sides, keep those elbows tucked in, bring both those hands up into the guard position. Go ahead and make your fists on this side. This hand's touching the chin. And here we have the start of our 3-point stance. So he's got 1 point is the elbow tucked in. Point number 2 is this hand on the chin. Point number 3 is this elbow in. And if he turns sideways, you can see, go ahead and turn all the way sideways. We've got a definitive lead hand, just a couple of inches off the chin, just about the same height as the rear hand. You can step back in your stance. So now you've got the bladed stance and your basic 3-point guard.
I love the way you showed him, pin your elbows in, now bring them up. When you pin your elbows, you got 2 of the 3 already, right? And then it's place that right hand and then the left hand out. Everybody sees Mike Tyson, but that's a totally different style. And again, we're not Mike Tyson,
There's only one Mike Tyson. All right, so from here, basically what we want to work on next, Dave, is torque and rotation. And the way that we're going to do that, you've got your hands up. We want to go through the movements without actually throwing the punches. So we're gonna start going rear to front. So I'll just let you demonstrate. We're gonna pivot a little bit on the rear foot. This knee is going to hinge forward. The hip is going to rotate, and the weight is going to shift to the front leg. So you have torque, you have the rotation, and you have the shifting of weight. And once the weight, you can leave your hands up. Once the weight hits this leg, if he's going to come back with another punch, he's got to have the ability to torque, rotate, and shift back to the other side and maintain this stance. So in here, just a little bit, we got a little too far cranked over. We're going to keep them lined. There we go. And now you should return back to 50-50. Okay, so let's go through that one more time. So you're going to torque left, boom, and now torque right, and pivot through, bend the knee, let that heel go out just a little tiny bit, and now torque back, and pivot just a little bit, and torque back, boom, and that's your basics of torque, rotation, and weight shift. What do you want to add in there, Dave?
Yeah, foot to foot. So the weight that the arm that you'd be throwing or weapon you'd be throwing with that hand, the weight always goes to the opposite foot. This is everything other than a jab. Jab stays centered, right? So if people watching, if you're going to throw anything with that left side, you pivot that left heel, that left hip, that left shoulder, and your weight goes to the opposite foot, the right foot. Anything you throw with the right, your weight always shifts to the left foot. Now, one thing, the more rotation you can get, okay, the more power that you get. A lot of people, when they're working that, they're blocking that shoulder, okay? And so then from there, the punch has to go. Try to get that shoulder to where your right shoulder is over that line when you torque. Let me see you do that, Blaine. Turn that heel, hip, shoulder, okay? Yep, and get that. See, there you go. Now you got a full shoulder turn. Your fist is going to fly about 4 to 6 inches deeper into your target. And remember, it's just a snake's tongue on the end of a torque. A right hand is a jab with a torque weight shift before it, right?
Yeah. So, and I think this looks great. And I do the same thing as you go left. And the left shoulder goes over the line. And this is another argument for the bladed stance. So if you're over rotating this way and you've got that foot pointing straight ahead, like some of the styles do, you don't have a way to control that force, which explains why some of these styles are great at kicking, but they're just not known for having any real punching skills. So that's, of course, another reason. Guys, if you haven't seen these yet, we've got videos breaking all of this down from step one all the way to an advanced level that we can tell you about here in a little while.
Hey, and Alan, explain a little bit. The best fighters in the world miss 2/3 of their punches, right? So a great punch stat for a phenomenal boxer, if he's landing 30% of his shots, right? So you're 100% going to miss. And if you miss and that foot's pointed straight ahead, like you said, there's no stored energy there to pull you back on, let alone hum a left hook behind that right hand, right?
No, for sure. And that's what we call preparing for the miss. So when you swing, you want to make contact, but you've got to consider, if you don't, what happens? And that's why, you learn to get that elbow back when you punch and so many other things we'll try to cover here in just a minute. But yeah, 100% agreed. So right now, in just a matter of minutes, and again, this is just a couple of sessions with us, we've got a basic bladed stance, hands up, we got a 3-point guard, we've got torque, rotation, and weight shift, and then we begin the basics of footwork. David and I are really big on, you should not watch most of the YouTube videos out on footwork, the drills, and I feel like trainers in general have a problem. They try to get too cute and too creative with what they're doing, and the transfer over to actual skill is not even there. So if you don't have this stuff down, you have no business trying any of that other stuff if you're using your footwork to get better at fighting. So footwork, I like to call it the 4-inch rule. That basically means we're going to step whatever distance it is, 2, 3, 4 inches, we're going to move both feet the same distance. So if Blaine is going to go forward, he's going to push lightly off the ball of the rear foot and take a front 4-inch step with the front leg. And then the back leg travels up that exact same distance. And if we're going back, we reverse that. So you're going to push in a little bit off the front foot, take a 4-inch step back, and let the front foot trail. Now that looks simple, but when you start to do it while punching, moving forward, moving backward, under pressure, you better have that down before sparring ever even is thought about starting. So let's practice it. Let's go in, out, in, out, out. And we make that perfect. We're on the balls of the feet, the weight's balanced, and we're driving up to, driving back to. So let me just work a little bit. In, out, out, in, out, in.
That's not easy, guys. I'm telling you, if people are watching this and think that's easy, because it's natural to step in correctly. When you go forward, Okay, if you were walking from that position, you would move your back foot first. So you're having to break natural habits. And that is way harder than people understand. And Blaine is doing a great job of stepping the same distance, because if he were to step 6 inches with, we call this the perfect fighting position. Everything we do is out of that. If he steps 6 inches with his front foot and 4 inches with his back foot, did he end up in his perfect stance that he's used to? Answer is no. He's 2 inches wider, right? So you're doing a great job of keeping both steps the exact same size, at least what it looks like from what I'm looking at.
Guys, if you're watching this, you got to understand, I've run into hundreds and hundreds of black belts who don't have basic stance, basic footwork. I've seen at least the same number of boxers who don't understand the basic stance, and they're off balance, offense, defense, their movement, it never catches up to its potential because the basic steps are wrong. Now, this is just linear in and out footwork. There are multiple angles. There's drills for lateral. We cover all of that, of course, in Fighters College. And again, we'll tell you about that here in just a few minutes. So basically what we've done inside of just a couple of sessions is we've built the ability to stand, have a good guard, how to move, how to torque and rotate. So now what we want to do is, everybody wants to see the punches, right? Well, yeah, he can do all that, but can he punch? So we're going to go ahead and do the first punch. We're going to do it slow and walk through it. So when we're throwing the lead jab, it's a flick, right? We're not really shifting any weight. You can either punch from position, which means we're standing still, or from motion, which means I'm having to track a target and use some of that footwork. From position first, the hand's going to move first. The elbow is going to push it up. So it goes all the way out. And at 3/4 extension, we're making that rotation. And on the end of that rotation, we now have 2 points of contact, one with the target, one with his shoulder. So you can turn sideways a little bit there. Let's get a full side stance. Now, elbow down, pull it down, and bring that hand straight out. The elbow drives it at about 3/4 extension. It's a simultaneous, everything rotates. There's our point of contact. 1, 2, and then on his other side, he's got 3, 4 on that hand. And then an emphasis on pulling that elbow back, as soon as he makes contact. We're not going to leave it dangling. As soon as he's completed the punch, you don't have to do it fast yet. He's going to pull it back. So take it out slow, rotate it, boom, and pull it straight back. Boom. Now back on the line. So there's his jab, Dave. Now on the right hand, we're going to take that torque, that rotation. We're going to get that shoulder rotated. And right as that shoulder is about to cross that line, this is just a jab on the end of that rotation.
And that's a straight right, because it's going straight over the center line, i.e. straight right hand. So it's really like we talked about, it's a torque with a fast snapping jab on the end of it. That jab being elbow speed, not hand speed. This is hand speed. We want elbow speed. Whop, right? That looks fantastic, man. And there's your 1-2, right? The most used combinations. And if I could share something, Alan. So, Blaine, if I say in, move forward. So in, out, right? In, out. All right, that's the most commonly used footwork pattern in the fight game. You're stepping in, firing, you're stepping back out. The second most commonly used is out, in. So go out, in. Now, if Alan were trying to step in and hit you, you'd step out, make him miss. You'd step back in and pop him. So those two footwork patterns are huge. But again, you got to do it right. If you do it wrong, you don't cover the distance. If the rear foot moves first when he's trying to move forward, his feet are too close together, he's unstable, and he hasn't gone anywhere until the front foot steps forward. So it's way more complex than people know. We'd like to give you the whys, but just pay close attention to this if you're watching and master this. Great job, Blaine.
All right, let's go ahead and put some gloves on. All right, so we want to go ahead and get an idea of what those punches are going to look like at speed, understanding that we're not rushing that. We are trying to make sure that form is good way before we start doing any of this at speed. But I do want everybody to be able to check out what the punches look like, and then we're going to add something on the end, which most people are unaware of, and we'll show that in a second. So Blaine, go ahead and face me from this angle. All right. And so what do we got, guys? We've got the bladed stance. We've got good knee position. And now he's got 2 sets of eyes watching every move. So we're going to first real slow. You can step forward with that left and let that jab go. And the right foot catches up automatically and back.
Okay. Now let's work on getting that elbow back. Don't get in the habit of leaving punches out, because rib cage, the more rib cage you see, the worse that the fighter is. Okay. So same thing you do there, but when you step, always just make sure that's a snake's tongue, right? Because if you get in, listen, as a coach, it is so hard to teach people not to thrust punches, right? So just right off the bat, even though you're working it, so make sure that fist returns.
Okay, so let's go ahead. Feeling good? Let's go ahead and do, let's do 3 at speed, and then we'll let David take a look at them. Okay, let's go. And out. And out. And out. And pretty quick, I think I would look at maybe just a little bit more extension on the end of that. What do you see, Dave?
Yeah, what I see is the hard stuff is being done right. Both feet are moving. Most people leave their rear foot in the bucket when they step in and jab, right? So if they step with the front foot, leave the rear foot back, well, then there's no right hand. You have no reach. So anytime you see somebody doing drills where they're stepping with their front foot only and jabbing and pulling back out, which you see it all day long on the internet, that is butt backwards, okay? Because if you go in with just a jab and don't bring that rear foot up, all you've got is a jab. That rear hand won't reach them. Does that make sense?
Sure. So got the jab.
I thought that looked great. Right elbow didn't budge. Right fist stayed on his jaw. At impact, his shoulder was touching his jaw. So he had the 4 points of contact, that's like gap analysis, right? I'm looking for gaps because that's where people knock you out. If giving gaps, dropping hands when you're punching, I thought it was great.
Okay, awesome. So let's move to the right hand. And what do we have now? We have torque, rotation, weight shift, and then we're going to release that hand on the end, and you're going to want to stay tight, connected to your body until the last second so we don't show the rib cage early. We rotate, keep it tight in, connect, and then release it right on the end. So you ready? Let that go. Go. Okay, careful not to pull it back right before you throw it. Comes right off the chin, right off the rotation. It all happens at once. Go. A little faster. Get it. A little bit faster rotation. Get that arm out. Get that elbow back.
There you go. Good.
Now he's got just a little bit of a lag as he starts. So it's like there's just a little bit of a pause right as he gets ready to go. Again, we're looking at
that though. I tell you, I like that because you're accentuating rotate, then punch. And when he starts fighting and going full speed, that'll go away, right? But he will still have that torque fire. Because if you just fire, you may as well throw a sponge at him, right? If it's just an arm punch, it's not going to do anything. So I don't mind. I actually teach it that way. Turn, then fire. Turn, then fire. I said, now you're not going to fight this way, but watch me do it full speed. It looks exactly the same, right? But it ain't the same with impact.
Good point. Yep, got it. So now, guys, what we're building is the good old 1-2, the American 1-2. 1-2, jab, right hand. So this is a straight jab. Remember, there are 10 different jabs. This is just one of them. There are multiple different versions of the right hand. This is just one of them. This particular combination is a straight jab, bang, followed by a straight right hand. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it. Go ahead, Dave.
No, that looks good. Nice
Okay.
pop, nice snap. You're not getting out over that front knee, which most people just by nature try to do. So if you missed, you were in position, you could easily come back with that left hook, right hand, anything. Yeah, that looks good. And then, in place, a 1-2 is used a lot. Somebody's stepping in on you, you crack them with that 1-2. You go after them, you add the footwork. Front hand goes when the front foot hits. Rear hand goes when the rear foot hits.
So let's see it. Let's see it 1-2 together. We'll do it 3 times. Here we go.
Nice.
Okay, and there's our 1-2, and this is where we want to add something bonus on. Dave, you actually are the one that got me loving this so much. Going back on your line. And that is the 1-2-1. I never really realized that last one became a power jab until you explained it. So what we've got here, guys,
combination that there is, and I've never seen it not work at any level. Pros, amateur, that sneaky, like you're punching in a pipe. All three of those straight shots go right down the center, and you got 2 power shots at the end of it, the right hand and then the jab. I love it. Yep.
And that's the part that I want to show, because I didn't grasp it until it was explained to me. So hopefully I'll do it justice the way you explained it. So hands up. The first jab is that flick. So we're keeping that weight back, and it's that speed punch. We have that torque and rotation on the right hand that we talked about. And on the end of that, the weight is now on the left leg. So if he throws a jab from here, naturally he's going to have the torque and the rotation and weight shift, because the weight is now on that leg. So the second jab is actually a power shot. So you rotate and throw that jab out. Bang! And he ends up back in his position. So what you've got is a speed jab and then a power 2 punch, which is the right hand and the jab again. So let's walk through it one time and feel the weight shift slow. So we're all the way out. Weight's about even. Rotate. Come all the way through and extend that right. And now you feel the weight loaded on that front leg. Rotate, pivot, torque, boom. And we have that on the end. And that is the 1-2-1. So let's look at that from this angle. You can turn the face. Make sure you see him good. Okay, good. So slowly, we have the 1, we have the 2, and we have the 1. Boom. Okay, so let's do a little faster. 1-2-1. Good. That's a good speed right now. Boom, boom, boom.
Roll that shoulder a little bit more, Blaine, on that right hand.
Come to me a little.
The right shoulder.
Yeah, roll it more, because that loads up your left hand. The farther you get your right shoulder around on your right hand, that gives you more power on the right. That it super loads that left. It's like a washing machine.
1-2-1. And there we got a pretty good looking combo, Dave. I'm gonna let him try it full speed, and let's just see how it looks. Okay?
Yeah.
Let's go. So that's pretty tight. What I want people to think about is that if you are a beginner fighter, even if you're advanced, if you're a martial artist, even a black belt, when you've got that kind of tenacity coming at you on perfect balance with speed and razor sharp accuracy, it doesn't matter who you are anywhere in the world, you have to deal with that. Yep. And that is the setup, right? So he could have snapped and this is 4 days of training, guys, not 4 months, not years, but 4 days. So we may go jab, jab, 1-2, 1-2-1, or even go 2-1-2.
My second favorite, 3 power shots in a row. Turn, turn, turn.
Here we go. Go. Now, fast. And that's a nice, hard, tight, straight. You can relax right there, my man. Straight punches that, man, I don't think that's what people understand. There is no way that you do not have to deal with that. So if you can master, guys, what we've done today. Thanks, Blaine. Yep. Appreciate it, man.
If you don't mind me saying this, if you listen back to, even Mike talks about this, Tyson, and listen, the reason we refer to him so much is in his prime, he was the closest to perfect as I've ever seen in my life at any weight, okay? With weight shift, balance, footwork, perpetual movement, punching with tenacity, no rib cage shown when he was firing. But they pretend like they're hitting with his shoulder. He doesn't think about hitting with his fists. In training, he's trying to get his shoulders to the target, right? So that's where we adapted a lot of that from. And it makes a big difference. And look, that combination, you didn't drop your hands. I'm looking for, like, are people circling their shots? Because if you circle your jab, then they're going to follow it, with the right hand. But you were straight from the position to the target, which it's always fist directly to the target, right? It's not, there's no looping. So, I mean, I would say, okay, now we're ready to go on to something else. But then and only then, position, so forward, back, a couple basic punches. But, out of that, you had a jab, you had a 1-2, you had a 1-2-1, you have a 2-1-2. You could just have a 2-1, right? So there's a lot of skill that you can go out of that. And you just try to always keep making sure, is my shoulder getting to the target? And then am I letting it go? That little lag there is huge. And Alan, I was watching something on the NFL because my buddy Jim Kelly was in it, but they were talking about the how throwing for quarterbacks, right, has gotten better. It is exactly like throwing a right hand, right? They torque, they weight shift, they clear their hips, and then they throw. And it's the same thing with baseball. Again, this isn't our opinion. This is physiology. This is physics. And people need to understand that. So if they follow this, they're going to hit harder and be more protected while they're doing so than anybody that they know.
And so what do you, I know what you're going to say, but I think people need to see, I think that's phenomenal skill to develop in literally 4 sessions, right? Compared to, you see a lot of black belts that don't punch correctly. You see a lot of boxers have good form after months or years. Black belts, it sometimes takes years, and they still don't understand punch mechanics. You have a saying that practice doesn't make perfect, it makes permanent. So making sure that you're doing the fundamental exactly right from the beginning, slowly until it's developed, and then putting the skill to it is the secret to getting those kind of results. But here's what people watching need to understand. That's only your basic foundation in 2 punches. Once now what we do is we begin to add the proper way to throw the other shots, how to move your head, the different angles of footwork. There are 10 different jabs, not one. There are multiple right hands, not just a straight. There are endless combinations that we put together, which this is what we say. When we say we're making you fight ready with fight ready training, you take fundamentals like this, then we put them into drills where you apply them in different scenarios, and then you go into combinations. And once you can fight in combination, that's when things are dangerous. And that's the format of the entire Fighters College curriculum.
It is. And what's really cool about this system that we put together, and we can do the Fighters College where we can critique people, is you don't have to wonder, okay, what do I do next? What do I work on next? We'll tell you when to go, but until, we're building a foundation. Every little brick we put in there has to be perfect. Can't be cracked, right? Then you can put anything on top of it. You could add other people's styles to it, strategies to it. Are you an aggressive fighter? You're a counter fighter. It doesn't matter. What we teach can be adapted to any particular strategy or style on the planet.
All right, guys, so if you like the way that we do this, the way that we break it down, this is literally the tip of the iceberg. Fighters College is a complete blueprint. And when I say complete, Dave, it's from the ground up. I mean, it's from day one to professional skill level. You can do it without sparring. You can do it without taking the contact. Now, if you're going to compete, eventually, of course, you're going to need to get some sparring. It's a sport. You've got to play the sport. But as far as for self-defense, for the benefits of fitness, for understanding skill, you can do it on your own, just with some basic tools.
We incorporate all of the laws of learning in this, right? Perfect practice makes perfect, but practice makes permanent. So if you are doing stuff over and over and you don't have somebody watching you, you're going to develop bad habits. And the more you practice, the worse you're going to be, because you're drilling in and driving in these incorrect techniques. You have to have somebody watching you that knows what they're doing. So you not only need the blueprint, but you have to have that feedback. And if somebody comes back and says, okay, what does it look like now I'm doing on the video? We'll say, this is right. You're doing this right. We'll point out all the good stuff and say, however, you're dropping this a little bit too much and you're going to get caught. Our job is not only to make you a great fighter and teach you all those skills, but it's also going to teach you how to survive and not get beat up, because anybody can be thrown into the ring and they'll eventually be good. They may not have many brain cells left, right, if they learn that way, but it is a way. We just like our way better.
For sure. So inside of Fighters College, you've got a fundamental blueprint. You are taught all the angles of footwork. We iron down the position. We have drills for the position. We're teaching you the punches, the right mechanics, how to get speed on your front hand, how to get power on all your other shots, how to put it together into defense, how to block and defend all of those. We include kicks, knees, elbows as well. We go over different types of equipment, how to hold focus mitts, and then all of that builds into a training drills that are very unique and applied actually to fighting, followed by the endless combination engine is what we call it, and that is like endless fight combinations for training, never bored. You know what to do when you hit a bag, hit mitts, shadow box with a partner. You have a concept, a blueprint to follow, and it's step by step, once again, from absolute beginner all the way to a pro level of striking.
Every sport, what really matters is how strong your basic fundamentals are. World-class athletes, what makes them good is their application of basics, their great application of basics. It's not the 360 dunk. It's not the tricky footwork you're seeing online. That came later, and really they don't do that against, they only do that against competition they know they can do it against. You see all the tricky stuff fly right out the window when they go head to head with somebody who is also world-class, right? We welcome anybody to challenge what we're saying when we teach something, because I would love to get in one-on-one, or Alan and I talking to somebody who's saying, well, no, this way's a better way. There are other ways to do it, but you know, I have yet to sit down with anybody that challenges this and not them go, oh, okay, yeah, that does make sense, right? You can't undo God's laws. There's just certain laws to physics and physiology that it's inarguable.
So guys, we'd love to have you in. Just join us. Click the link, fighterscollege.com. Come check it out. We'd love to see you in there. Dave, thanks for your help today. Blaine,
thank you, bud. Looking good, man. Keep up the good work. Just one day at a time, one step at a time.
All right, guys, we'll see you inside Fighters College. Hey guys, I'm Alan Branch.
I'm David Dyes.
We appreciate you watching the video. Hey, be sure that you like the video, subscribe to our channel for ongoing content, and if you want to go next level, be sure to visit us at fighterscollege.com.
And always remember, keep those elbows in, that chin down, and hands up.
And remember to thank God every day that you have the strength to go one more round. See you next time.